to a show.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Off the Mats podcast. And we're on the holiday season, maybe the New Year season, all of the season. So, hey, if I ain't said it before, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year, all of it. And if I said it in another episode, y'all got it twice. So cool. But for this episode, I would like to welcome on a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
Yep.
And an all-around cool guy. We interacted through Instagram and was like, you know what? He reached out. I reached out, shared a post. We got the talk. I was like, yo, let's do the pod. So here we are. I would like to welcome to the podcast, Mr. Jarrell Garcia. What's up, Jarrell? How are you, man?
I'm good. I appreciate it. Every time I do a podcast, I'm like, man, y'all, the intros, I can't introduce myself that good. So thanks for that intro.
Hey, man, I had actually a more detailed intro. I was like, that might be overkill. Let's chill.
Yeah, we'll dive
let's
into
just
it,
go.
sure. Yeah.
Like sometimes I see things, I'm like, I don't want people to think I'm like fanboying. So it's like, let me just be normal, be a human, and introduce them.
Yeah.
So try to keep it at least let them know, hey, from my perception, you're a cool dude. And I mean, I just feel like for the most part, if you're doing jiu-jitsu and you've been doing it this long and you care about it, you got to be a little bit cool, right?
Yeah, for sure. It'll be, I think, 16 years, May. 16, 17 years in May.
Nice. So, I mean, doing it this long, I mean, were you doing any martial arts before jiu-jitsu, and what got you into jiu-jitsu in the first place?
No, so actually my main sport was soccer. So Jamaican family, we're doing track or soccer. So I grew up playing soccer in Brooklyn, New York, before moving to the mountains of Pennsylvania. And it was when I finished up high school, I made the transition into MMA and then ultimately jiu-jitsu. And the catalyst for that jiu-jitsu journey was kind of two events. One, watching the UFC. So this is like 2008, 2009 UFC. And I saw Andre Arlovski versus Tim Sylvia. And Arlovski dropped him with the overhand right. And then instead of following him up with strikes, he fell back on a straight ankle lock and tapped him. And I was like, what was that magic that he just did? Why he grabbed his leg and the guy just started screaming. So that was the first click. And then the second was my older brother was retired from the military now, but he did combative training for the military. So naturally, anytime your older brother comes home, you fight. And I did not win. He took my back. And he's like, if you don't tap, I'm going to put you to sleep. And I was like, that's not a real thing. That's just in movies. And he put me to sleep.
Oh.
So after that, I was like, all right, I'm gonna win this. So I just been doing it ever since.
Nice. Yeah, I always have this thing I say I'm the oldest of four. I always say look, I'm the big brother. I'm not losing. That's just
I'll play dirty. I lose it.
Oh yeah. I have a buddy who's a Marine. He's the younger brother, and his older brother was kind of a scrawny guy, not athletic, and just unassuming. Yeah. And anytime he comes back to town, that scrawny big brother beats that Marine. Every time we look in wonderment, yo, what? Yeah. And I was like, yo, that rule is real, I think.
Yeah.
So
it's like dad strength, but big brother strength.
Yeah. So it's get him put to sleep by the big brothers, and I mean, it's part of the rules. You're playing along, but I'm glad from that point you're like, look, I'm gonna go ahead and learn this because what is that magic?
Yeah, exactly. That's literally what it was. It's this is magical.
You said you didn't do any wrestling or anything?
Nope,
either
purely
prior?
Soccer. Yeah, purely soccer. And granted, I'll give some or a good amount of credit to like just my genetics. Like I'm 6'2", naturally when I was competing, naturally walking around at like 158, 160. So like just the size and height just wasn't normal, if you will. So like I was competing. I think the lowest I ever competed at was 149, and I did that like 2 or 3 times. But yeah, just being 6'2", but also at that light weight just made me kind of an issue for people. Even though my initial intention wasn't competing, I started actually competing and had a few good runs, and then I decided to start focusing more so on building out all areas of my life and diversify, if you will.
Okay. And you train at 10th Planet?
Yeah, I'm a 10 Planet black belt out of 10 Planet Bethlehem in Pennsylvania. So those who know, like Renee Souza, John Fort Blank, who just won ACC trials, Zach Maslany, Grace Gunjom back in the day, the Silent Assassin. So that's where I came out of. But right now I train at Jarrell Garcia, Rhode Island, because I've been in Rhode Island for 3 years now.
Oh, cool. Oh, dude, somebody just asked me recently about, they're like, is there jiu-jitsu in Rhode Island?
Yeah,
I was like,
by far the best place in Rhode Island. I say that biasly and also unbiasedly.
I'll have to relay that message back and be like, hey, no, we got something for you. Like there is something. I'm not sure where they are in Rhode Island, but I feel like
it's so small. You could drive through the whole state. I think it's like an hour and 15 minutes or something crazy. So no matter where you're at, you'll be able to get to it.
That's fair enough. I never, like, I used to live in Delaware. I used to always think about Delaware being like, across Delaware, like, maybe, a couple hours, if even.
Yeah.
We were on the border of Maryland, so I could get to Maryland in 15. So, yeah, but small state problems, I guess.
Yeah, that's good.
But like, with you training or getting your black belt at 10 Planet, so essentially no gi going there. Was there a specific, like, I guess, reasoning for going the no gi route versus gi route? Like where you're at Henzo's now, do y'all operate in the gi there from time? Well, you as the black belt, or is it just like, look, man, I'm just gonna go ahead and leave the pajamas off and we playing in superhero gear?
Yeah. So yes, I'll work that question backwards. Like the joke is, hey, y'all will see me in the gi like every quarter. Every 3 to 4 months, y'all see me in the gi. So I was just in the gi last week for a seminar, and every once in a while I'll drop in for an open mat or like a class, and they have like it's the second coming of Christ. They're like, "What? Are you lost? What are you doing?" So yes, I like putting on the gi every once in a while. Like it's fun. What made me dive into, as I mentioned, when I was in college, I started at an MMA school, and then just had really negative experience with the MMA culture, particularly just with the coach. So the closest, nearest high-quality school to me was about 45 minutes in Penn State, called Central PA Mixed Martial Arts, and they had primarily gi classes. So that's when I started training in the gi, about 1.5 years, 2 years into my time of training martial arts, if you will. And I enjoyed it. But then even during that time when I was training in the gi, I was on YouTube looking up techniques, and this guy named Eddie Bravo popped up, and Jeff Glover popped up, and I was like, yo, I don't know, these guys are funky, and that was like the style I just liked. So when I had the opportunity and the 10 Planet opened up near me when I was done my undergrad and starting my master's, it was kind of a no-brainer to make that transition. And it's been 14 years of 10 Planet now at this point. So
oh, nice. It's funny because I don't know why in my mind I just did not know there's a 10th Planet here on the East Coast. Felt like it was like West Coast, maybe Midwest.
Yeah, it was 100, I think over 100 and maybe over 112 locations worldwide. So East Coast has 10 Planet, but I can't even name all of them, but there's like 5 or 6 in Florida. Pennsylvania has 4. I think Pennsylvania has 4. Long Island has 2 or 3. They're all over the place.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's like I knew there was over 100, and I guess in my mind it was just like, I guess the East Coast ain't part of that.
Yeah, they're all just on the West Coast. All in California.
It's like 10th Planet on the West Coast, and like a couple other countries in Europe, and it's like, but they just said, nah, not the East Coast. But yeah, that's cool. Like it's good to know that because people ask me about it. I was like, have you ever trained at a 10 plan? I was like, no. I mean, but now that I know, hey, we got some over here. There's 4 in
Oh, sure.
PA. Go ahead and make that trip. Like, that's a couple hours for me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I know. I say this biasly, but also I get to travel a good amount for work, and some of the coolest people. Jiu-jitsu in general, as we talked about before, like most of the time, people are cool. You know what I mean? Um, but then that's kind of for me doubled when I drop into 10 planets. And there are even schools within 10 planets. I'm like, nah, I'm good, just because I don't like the sound of that person. You know what I mean? Just like with anything, but overall, just like with once again, most schools are good, and it's 10 planet.
Yeah. I'd imagine, like, yeah, as you're traveling, there's a 10 planet. It's like, well, you know, go what's home, go to where's home. It's like,
Yep.
hey, you know what? I know, it's within the system. So
Yep.
you get kind of a feel that, y'all are all on the level. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. I
good.
think the closest one to me is like an hour and a half away, and I'm like, yeah. Once again, 100% will visit them and train with them. But in regards to like daily or weekly training, rather, like again, I'm past that point in my career where I'm traveling an hour and a half for consistent training.
Cool. Cool. And once you got into training, just really got into the feel of it.
Mm.
What were those early impressions like? Well, what was something you like struggle with in the early parts, and what did you feel like you were really good at in the early
Mm.
parts?
So I'd say, and I got this from my MMA coach, my first coach, um, and it took me a while to break this habit, even though it's still a very core piece of my game that I've had to adjust. Is he kind of beat the idea of don't use your athleticism, right? Like don't use your athleticism because once again, I was had an athletic background, so I was using my speed, a little bit of my strength that I had, particularly for my size. And he's like, yeah, don't do that. So he kind of like beat the idea of using athleticism out of me, which is good in some way, right? Of hey, don't overly rely on speed, flexibility, strength, what have you, because sooner or later you're going to go get someone who is stronger, faster, more flexible, what have you, and you're not going to be able to adjust to that gap, right? But it wasn't then followed through with here's how to effectively apply it and not use it as a crutch to your development, right? So that's something that took me a while to kind of break, and even now my game is still very much so like sloth, slow. Come on, let me just get a grip. Let me just get a clinch on you. And every once in a while, I have to kind of like force myself to like, oh yeah, I am fast. I am dexterous. Have good dexterity rather. Um, so stylistically, that was my game initially, was trying to use my speed and what have you, and then over time it became more methodical, inch by inch, step by step, breaking people down, clinching them up, slowing them down, and making them play my game.
It sounds very similar. I guess maybe that's like a similar story for most athletic individuals coming into the sport. So like when I came in, I was kind of similar. It was like, I'm fast, I'm strong. Let me use this. And they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, but eventually that has a cap. So
Yes.
let's learn jujitsu. Oh,
Yeah. And as I
what?
said, like the balance is not, and this is I guess a side of coaching or quality coaching, not make it be a blanket statement or way of coaching someone of hey you can't use it. It's going hey here's when to use it appropriately. You know what I mean? Find that balance with your athletes.
Yeah, I think I still struggle with that because I I'll hear like, hey, I have my coach. He'll point out things to do that kind of counters it. It's like, all right, here's a good balance, and I'm stuck in my ways. I'm like, yeah, but I mean, like
I could
just like right
just I could
here.
just bust out right here. You know that, right?
Well, I do that to white belts.
Yeah.
I have my back. I was like, oh, okay, I got to get up. I got to
Yeah.
move. And I was just
Yeah.
like,
Just stand
like
up.
when people are like, just stand up. And it's like, that's not how that works. And then I was like, ooh, it did just work that way,
But
and it
sometimes it
shouldn't.
does.
So I mean, Derek Lewis,
I
there.
was
I
gonna say.
mean, he has a few fights where he's just stood up and was like,
Yep.
oh,
Yeah.
it's almost like that's against the rules, isn't it?
Not allowed to do that.
Yeah, like what's he doing? He's supposed to stay down here and punch me. Like he just stood up. Um, but yeah, I, I always feel like, yeah, coming in athletic, you feel like, hey, that's a blessing. You know, I've
Yeah.
got a head start. I have a buddy right now who I'm trying to get him on the mats. And he's like, well, you know, I'm trying to cut down all this weight. And he's in really great shape.
Yeah.
Like beyond great shape. And he's like, you know, I still got 20 that I gotta lose. And I'm like, okay. It's like just that like get on the mats now though.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
You'll
during
lose
that
it
time.
training.
Yeah. We actually talked a couple nights ago because we watched the Jake Paul fight.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about, you know, it does seem like it's really helping him in his personal life, you know, I don't know. I don't really follow his personal life. So,
Yeah.
I mean, perhaps when I told him, I was like, I can't explain it or stress like how relaxing it is for me to safely spar with my friends.
For sure.
And, you know, just trying to like explain that to him. And he was like, yeah, I mean, you know, I'm going to get out there. I'll get out there. You know, I just want to, lose a little bit more weight. And I'm like, okay. I mean, so it's like coming into the game with athleticism and strength and speed and everything. It's like, that's cool. That it helps.
Yeah, it's definitely a net positive. It's definitely it's not even close. It's definitely a net positive.
Yeah.
And at the same time, the challenge to your ego, with despite being potentially faster, stronger, bigger, what have you, still have them get you paired up with a 15-year-old purple belt or 18-year-old purple belt rather. And you're like, I have 50 pounds on him and he's tying me up, especially if it's in the gi, right? No gi, you can somewhat get away with being a little bit more athletic and not getting caught up a little bit. But particularly in the gi, it's like you're going to get wrapped up.
Yeah, the gi is, I mean, I'm 47 now. My hip hurts. My shoulder clicks.
Yeah, you got a good one and a bad one.
It's like, well, now they're both bad. So
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
sounds about right.
like one's bad and the other's worse. I use that gi to slow people down. It was like, anytime it's no gi time, I'm like, oh, I mean, we can do this.
Yeah,
but I don't know if I really want to do this. But I mean, the gi feels like that equalizer, especially when like you have that strength and speed advantage, because or if you're at a disadvantage, really, because it's like, well, look, if I get a lapel, I mean, it ain't a end all, but it buys me maybe a second.
Yeah, and you got to address it.
Yeah. So yeah, coming in though with at least that advantage, it is a good thing. But we do still got to learn the techniques.
Yes.
Without the technique,
it'll be exposed at some point. Sooner or later, it will be exposed.
Yeah, there was one point early on, and I thought I was slick. I mean, maybe I was. I was learning everyone's patterns.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew how to beat people to their things because I just knew where they were going to go. I knew what they were going to do. I still didn't know jiu-jitsu though. I still didn't know what to do, but I just knew like, oh, you're going to go for this. Let me stop you here. You're going to go for that. I'm going to stop you there. And then one day I was sitting and I was like, I don't think I actually still know jiu-jitsu though. But I know pattern recognition.
Yeah. Well, and like, what does it mean to know jiu-jitsu if you're able to effectively prevent your opponent from getting in an advantageous position? Like, is that all it is, right? And then we just attach a name to it, right, or a concept. But yeah, so that's an interesting idea or question that we all once again have heard, right? Like, oh, I need you to do jiu-jitsu. Well, standing up appropriately without giving up your back or not getting your opponent to get underneath you, is that not jiu-jitsu, right? We can say that there's a more effective manner to do it, right? As we start getting into like the whole constraints-led approach that's becoming more popular, we can say this way increases the likelihood or reduces the likelihood that you'll end up in a disadvantageous position, while this way increases the likelihood, right? But if it works, it works. You know what I mean? So
that's something I always have in conversations quite a bit about jiu-jitsu. When people talk about jiu-jitsu doesn't work in the streets, it's like, well, I mean, what do you mean though? Like, sure, I'm not gonna invert in
Yeah.
the streets. That's silly.
Yeah.
But body awareness,
Correct. Weight
creating
distribution,
distance, like
distance.
yeah, like that's all jiu-jitsu,
Yep.
and it works. So
Correct.
there's anyone that says, oh well, jiu-jitsu doesn't work in the streets, it's like, well, I probably me trying to go for, I don't know, octopus guard, in the streets.
May not be
Yeah,
the
you're
best
right. It's
option.
not. Yeah, I'm probably gonna get beat up
Stomped.
bad.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's go deep half. Like, what? But if there's a situation where it's like I always tell people, especially now, like, unless you're cornered, don't fight. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like run.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Like,
remember when I first started training. Granted, it's still a white belt, but I have been training for a few months at this point. And my friends who weren't training, like, oh, what would you do if I did this in this situation? And I'm like, I'd walk away. Like, why do you think I have to fight you? Like,
yeah.
I would literally just walk away. They're like, oh, well, what if I grab you? It's like, okay, now that's a different story. You know what I mean? So,
My cousin one year at Thanksgiving, when I might have been training for about a year at this point. He goes, um, "What if I have a gun?" I go, "Do you have a gun right now?" He was like, "No." I was like, "I'm gonna beat your ass."
yeah.
Like don't
What are you
bring
talking
that
about?
into the equation if you ain't got one. Like,
Yeah. Or do I
but
also have a gun?
yeah, it's
Well,
like
no, not in this scenario. Okay, well, what are we talking about here?
we like you've got some weird questions, like, and I need more info. Like,
Yeah.
are we having a gunfight? Are there swords involved,
Yeah.
knives? Because we got some knives in the trunk of the car. We can we can go do that. I mean, I don't advise it because they're sharp, but
Yeah.
but if we're just doing like straight hand to hand combat, it's like I feel like I have the advantage on you, but what, like, why would we fight?
Yeah.
Like, we're cousins.
Yeah. That's always the question that people assume, like, oh, if you do this, you must be ready and also willing to fight at any point. It's like, no, actually, I find it kind of useless to fight the vast majority of the time. It's like, I'm just going to walk away. I got better things to do. I got a good outfit on. I don't want to ruin it. Like, what are we talking about?
Like, yeah, it's like I always say at work, it's like, I've got stuff to do and this ain't one of them. It's like,
Yeah.
like if there's like, there's a fight at the library a few weeks back, and I ran over and broke it up because it was like, whoa, like, what are we doing? Like,
Exactly.
and the guy that I actually was holding back, I could feel in his body positioning he didn't want to fight.
Yeah.
Like, but there's a situation where he and I walked out of the library. We talked. He calmed down. He goes back in to get his property. The other guy starts barking at him again. They get into it. I now wrap up with the other guy, and he wanted to fight. He's like, I had to hold him. Like, I had to really put some effort into holding him back. And even still, in all this idea was like, this is jiu-jitsu, just like the way I control his wrist. I didn't grab his wrist. Like, I didn't have a close, there's like basically like kind of a what do you call it? Knife block or whatever, knife hand, and underhook on him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just these basic things that it's like the simple things. And most people don't even really understand how to, if you get an underhook on most people, they don't really know to, swivel under.
Yeah.
Like,
or even just a wrist control. Like, get a good wrist control on someone. Like, hey, just break my grip.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I mean. I had wrist control, and I didn't even have like a closed hand on his wrist. And it's just like, okay, like, he didn't know how to get around it. I just kept moving with him. But these things are jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
And you don't need to use them. Like, again, when we go out, to the bar or something, I'm looking around because if something goes down, my job is to get my friends out of there.
Yeah.
Like, without getting touched. It's like, all right, that looks funky. We're close to the door. Let's go ahead and get to another bar, get home. Like, get out of danger, because too many people have this assumption that, oh, you do martial arts, like, you're a bodyguard. I was like, I ain't nobody's bodyguard. I protect my wife and my daughter.
Exactly.
Like, I'll get y'all out of here, but I
Yeah.
ain't fighting for nobody. Like, you touch my wife, you touch my daughter,
Different
you
story.
know, yeah, we're gonna have a big problem. Even me, it's like if you hit me, I'm like, ugh, you might have made a mistake.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
we all mess up.
and I remember, this is in regards to my son, he's only 4 right now, but I remember explaining to my wife of the idea of like, oh, you don't hit someone unless they hit you. I was like, just so you know, we're not teaching, like our son will not practice that. She's like, what? Like, he can get in trouble. It's like, okay. But if someone enters your physical space with the threat of violence and you cannot escape, then you're 100% able to neutralize the situation safely. Right? Neutralize, not attack, right? Neutralize the situation, right? In the sense of getting under control, maybe you end up having to ease them to the ground with a knee on belly and go, you good? As you're able to keep your head on the swivel, right? But the idea of you need to first sustain damage before you're able to respond is, yeah. And she was like, okay, when you explain it that way, like, I get it. It's just the first time I'm hearing this idea of, yeah, don't allow violence first, because once again, it's someone just talking crap to you, I don't care, right? Across the room, so what? But someone goes, I'm going to beat you XYZ or punch you in the face, and then they start walking over to you, and once again, you're unable to retreat, leave the situation in a safe manner, right? Don't wait for them like, okay, as soon as he hits me, I'm going to... It's like, no, right? There was a threat. They've entered your physical space. You're unable to escape the situation. Those 3 factors allows us to exert neutralization of the situation.
Yeah, there's a kid in our neighborhood, and trying to explain that to my wife as well. With our daughter, it's like, well, no, if he touches her, invades her space, like, and it gets within her bubble, she has every right to hip toss that kid and hit him with the earth.
Yes.
Like, and my wife was not at all feeling it. She was like, absolutely. And I was like, absolutely. Like, look, do I want her out there fighting? No, not at all.
Correct. Exactly.
Do I want her, keeping herself safe, defending herself, protecting herself? Yes. Yeah.
Which is 90% of the battle.
Yeah. Yep. And that's the thing too. It's like, if somebody's approaching you, it's like don't let them get close enough where they can strike. Don't let them get close enough where they can grab you, where they can touch you. Especially if they're coming at you aggressively. That's the caveat there. Like they're coming at you with intent. It's like, all right, well, you're about to catch a teep right to the chest.
Yeah. It's like that clip of Chael Sonnen and Wanderlei Silva from The Ultimate Fighter. Yes. He's like, I can't get you. I can't make you get close. I can't make you get close. It's literally that, right?
Mm-hmm. Like I say that during training sometimes. We're like, I can't let you get close.
Yeah.
Like please, like stop. I don't want to do this. Yeah, there's a video. It's an older video, I guess. I've seen it over the last couple of years. There's a young lady, 2 young ladies, and I guess one starts swinging on the other, and the one starts defending herself. But she's literally wearing an MMA sweatshirt, and she hits her with a couple jabs. They get tangled up. They get to the ground. She gets on top. Starts raining down shots, and then goes for an armbar, and then she gets her back and puts her to sleep.
Yeah, I know.
And I every time I see it, I go to the comments because I want to see what's the temperature.
Yeah,
and you'll see for the most part people saying good for her. She defended herself. Then you get other people saying well she didn't need to break her arm. She didn't need to choke her. It's like. There are folks saying, well, look, you go until you neutralize the threat. And it's like, at what point is the threat neutralized though? Because she had mount.
Yep.
And she's raining shots.
Yeah.
I feel like at that
point, little payback.
Yeah. It's like, she got her licks back, but I feel like also the threat's neutralized at this point.
Yeah, correct.
The arm bar. I mean, I think at that point, it's just like, let's just be fancy.
Yeah.
And you hear the girl scream like, "Oh, my fucking arm."
Yeah.
And then she gets to her back, and it's like, okay, not whoa,
we're spinning techniques on the white belt right now.
Yeah, they're just like, all right, what else can I do? Get a bow and arrow out of this? In those situations though, it's like, whether it's the person, they just went into that rage. It's like, look, you started with me, now I'm going to finish, or again, I'm older, so I like the idea of like, look, if we get into it, I will hold you in place. I've
Mm.
had to do that before.
Yes. Yep.
And like when I was a white belt, I got into it at the bar with someone, and I held him in place. And I'm glad that he quit, like he
Yep. And
stopped
calm down. Yeah.
flailing, because I didn't have anything else. All I knew how to do was like restrain him.
Yeah.
But if I had his back, had he turned around and got into my guard, I was probably going to get my ass beat,
Yeah.
because I was very like, I I just know how to get your back. I know how to hold you. He cooled down. I was like, thank you,
Thank God.
thank you, thank you. Because if he would have,
Yeah.
if he would have like gotten any kind of like positioning, I was like, oh, I actually don't have a whole lot from here just yet.
Yeah.
I need another month.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Let's circle back to this. Like, I still got to work on my lasso, my bump sweep, my flower sweep.
yeah, like I had no sweeps in my arsenal, no nothing. I was just like, like if that, like, I don't even think I knew how to do an armbar from guard. So it would have been a rough night from that point. It's like, got a little bit of beer in my system. This guy's clearly drunk, and now I'm just getting punched in the face. But fortunately, that didn't happen. But I mean, again, just understanding how to keep things at bay, I
Yep.
think, is one of the more important things, especially out and about in the street, when people say, hey, this doesn't work in the street. And I'm like, well, it does. It doesn't
Yeah.
just, it doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be flashy. It just has to be
Correct.
effective.
Yeah. Exactly.
So you work in education?
Yeah. Yeah. So my primary role, I guess I have two primary roles, but my primary role is I'm the associate director of recreation. So I oversee all the athletic and fitness facilities at the university I work at. But then I'm also a college professor. So I teach leadership courses, research courses primarily. So understanding and know how to utilize research to push forward initiatives, solve problems and issues and what have you. But biggest thing is understanding research. And then leadership and sports psychology courses at Brown University.
Nice. That's super cool. Like, as I was reading stuff, I was like, okay, like I feel like there's a lot more here than just jujitsu.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah.
but it all still connects though. So
Correct. Yeah, because my I guess specialty is in the sports psychology aspect of athletic identity and the development of skills within sports and taking them outside of sports and coaching and leadership within that realm. And then naturally through that, I've studied a little bit of a good chunk of sports just as a whole, both from a developmental standpoint, a implementation standpoint, a professional standpoint. So yeah, because my biggest thing as a academic practitioner, I guess you could say, is, and I guess you could say I got this from sports and then jiu-jitsu. While I'm physically capable, I want to ensure that I'm not only a good coach, but I'm a qualified practitioner, right? Because I've seen throughout my career, both professionally and academically and sports-wise, and we've all seen it and have examples, athletes who are amazing practitioners, but then terrible coaches. Or coaches who are amazing coaches who truly don't really understand what it's like to actually compete. And so therefore they're coaching from the standpoint of, this is how I was coached, therefore this is how I'm coaching you. So that's a big piece. And then another piece of, hey, we all associate, this is probably my biggest thing, we all associate sports in general, but let's just use jiu-jitsu, with certain character traits, as we talked about before, like grit, resilience, confidence, organization, systematic thinking, problem solving, critically thinking. We associate that with someone who participates in jiu-jitsu. But then we don't automatically see them demonstrating those skills off of that. So that's the work I also do with athletes, former athletes, albeit former NCAA athletes or former Olympians or former high school athletes, of, hey, how do I ensure that you see the value in your sport beyond just the physical, technical skills you're developing, but these life skills that you're able to apply to being a better husband, being a better partner, being a better member of your community, right? Directly apply those.
that's always a thought that I have whenever, especially talk about jujitsu, because it's like, well, how does jujitsu connect to your everyday life? Like, what stuff that we use, in training, in competition, that affects your everyday life. I mean, and like you said, like, grit. that's one of the big things. I mean, as a football fan, Detroit Lions fan, that's been the big thing for the Lions the last few years is grit.
Yeah.
We got to have grit. It's like, all right, just beat the Bears. That's all I care about.
Let's
Just beat
focus
the
on that.
Bears, and then we'll worry about grit later. I guess grit is part of beating the Bears, though. But still, but yeah, that's you know just part of it too. It was like problem solving.
Yep.
Just completing a task. You think about that with drilling. It's like if you're just drilling the technique half-assed.
Yep.
It's like,
Go
we'll
through the
get there. It's like,
motions.
so, but, well, yeah, like that, like, what steered you in that direction? Just kind of wanted to approach that.
Yeah. So for me, as someone who was participated in soccer the majority of my life, and then was coaching along the way with like my dad or what have you, or even coached at the high school level for soccer, was my entire life hearing, if you participate in sports, you will learn these skills, like it's an absolute, right? And I love that as an idea, and I believe that sport can be a catalyst for social and environmental change, right? I generally do believe that. With that being said, it is not automatic, and that's how we act. We act as though it's automatic. Like, hey, if you just train jiu-jitsu, I promise the rest of your life will get better, right? Some coaches literally act that way, and it's like, well, it's not the actual sport of training technical jiu-jitsu that's making you a better problem solver, critical thinking, confidence, what have you off the mat. It's the fact that maybe you're no longer doom scrolling and picking up negativity, so now your communication with people is better, right? Maybe you're not carrying the stress of work directly to your spouse because you have an outlet, and now you're able to communicate with them with more patience. Not because you learn how to be patient with the application of the technique, but because of these other factors. So my research was emphasized on that piece was, if I were to measure athletes' athletic identity, which is the extent to which you connect with your role as an athlete, and I were to compare that to the skills that they developed within their respective sports, such as communication, organization, goal setting, teamwork, etc., and see if there's a connection between my athletic identity, the skills I'm developing, and me applying those skills off the mat, off the court, out of the pool, off the field, is there a direct correlation? Right? And ultimately there wasn't, which wasn't a surprise. And my goal of that wasn't to say, hey, look, sports don't teach these things, but it's more so going, hey, we have to be intentional, particularly when it comes to like youth, right, of developing them, because it's not just going to automatically happen. And we see time and time again athletes who severely struggle once they're done their athletic career because they don't have direction, they don't have focus, they no longer have their confidence because it was too tied to I am athlete, therefore I am confident. So once that athlete role is gone, I go, I am, who am I? And that leads to an identity crisis.
I mean, that was something we'd see in football quite a bit, like in the early 2000s, especially.
Yep.
I remember there was a player for the Detroit Lions, because again, Lions fan here. Could always mention that to the world. I only say it now because they're winning. Like,
yeah, before
I say 2008, I wasn't saying that. But there's a wide receiver that got drafted by the Lions, Charles Rogers from Michigan State, and his entire career, he'd been successful.
Yep.
No injuries, no nothing. He got hurt. I want to say it was his rookie year. He broke his shoulder towards the end, and it's like from that point he fell apart.
Yes.
Like everything just he spiraled out of control, and I don't know like the inside of it because I wasn't there with him, but I always thought about that. I was like, I feel like this dude, like after football was kind of taken away from him because he's never been injured, he's always been on the field.
Yep.
It was like, well, who am I? What do I do? Like,
exactly.
How do I come back?
Yeah, well, and that's exactly, and the research is pretty consistent with that. How you leave your athletic career plays a significant role into how successful you transition. Like me going, or using him for example, if he were to have a 5, 7, 8, 10-year career and then go, hey, this is going to be my final season, and transition compared to it just being cut from him, albeit injury, or being cut from the team and not picked up, the outcomes are literally not the same. But we also have to think about it. And once again, I don't know his full background, but I'm sure if we were to like look it up, like when did he start playing football? Let's be nice and say 5 or 6 years old, right? Even if it's Pee-wee, 5 or 6 years old, right? Do you know how long he played at Michigan? Did he play all 4 years, just a year, 2 years? It's okay if not.
All 4 years.
Awesome. Perfect. So that's even a longer time. So from 5 years old to what you graduate undergrad at 21, 22, depending, 4 years, right? So from 5 to 22, that's 17 years of my life. And then you say he got injured his rookie season or the year after? It's okay.
I believe it was at the end of his rookie year.
Cool. Right. So I've reached the pinnacle of what I want to achieve. And 18 years of my life has been dedicated to I am the football player. And I've actually reached the top of the mountain. And then in 1 second or 1 moment or one conversation with doctors is all taken away from me. 18 years of my life, essentially. Like it's we see it in other areas of life, like you hear of empty nester syndrome, right? Stay-at-home parents who, once their kids are gone, they're like, what do I do? Right? So it's an identity crisis component, right? Of if we're not investing in these other areas of our life, we end up having our identity foreclosed on like a home because we haven't invested into these other areas.
Never thought of it that way. I guess maybe inadvertently I thought of it that way because I do a bunch of different stuff myself, but I never thought of it that way with like athletes.
Yeah.
Like you see it, now in professional sports, a lot of athletes are doing other extracurricular activities besides just being the football player, the baseball player, the basketball player, so it's good to see that. And it's good to know that education is available now. Cause I guess again, those early 2000s, this wasn't a thing.
Yeah. That was it. You're done. You were done. Good luck. I wish you the best. Yeah. Well, and like what was I going to say with, there you go. As we talk about minds going everywhere. Yep. Lost the train of thought. It's okay. But yeah, it's challenging that transition. That's what it was. And think about the world of sports, particularly at the highest level. It's you give this your 100%. Give it your 100%, which I then internalize that as, sorry, honey, I can't do day night Friday. Sorry, sweetie, I can't make the recital because I'm providing for us via this role I have. Right. So it's not purely just a matter of, hey, my sport is taken away. It's my value in some ways has been taken away. Right. I've been be able to use this to better my life and provide the life. But at the end of the day, we tend to find out like, oh, you want to be there. Right. But how do I find that balance? And that's a larger societal question, particularly for men. But yeah.
Yeah. I think, as we come up through just any activity, even if it's not even a sport, just whatever we're doing, if you are a musician, same ideal, same principle, which again is why I love seeing a lot of athletes just with different passions now. And it's good because, you'll have a coach, use Joe Paterno as an example. When he retired, within a month of his retirement, he passed away. And this man had been
a lot of things happening there at that time.
I
was around Penn State during that time. Yeah, that was a lot of stress in that situation.
But he had been a coach for I don't even know how long.
It was something crazy, like 60 years or like 40, like something crazy. Over 40 years, something crazy. Like
he had been coaching. That's all. There's like a movie on HBO which just came out of nowhere. Al Pacino played Joe Paterno, which I was like, that's wild. But and they kind of like, they're kind of going over those last couple years with all the controversy. But the one thing that they're highlighting was like, he was only focused on coaching. Coaching. He retires. And granted, it's a little different with someone much, much older.
Yes. Yeah. But we do know there are, and I'm not as up to date on the research of post-retirement, the average like lifespan after retirement, particularly for men. Like I know it's not the best, right? And it's that purpose. We all need purpose, not to focus on men, but but that loss of purpose is a huge driving factor for many people just in general.
Yeah. My grandfather retired, I don't know how long ago, but he still kind of kept working.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That's
he
good.
does like part-time work still for his job, like just not at the office. He just has a setup at home and he
Yeah.
still does his computer work and he like he's not doing great, but him having work,
Yes.
that purpose is what's kind of still keeping him going. Is like, dang, like that's a thing. Because
Yeah.
if his job were to say, hey man, like we need you to chill, I don't know that he,
Would know how to maybe effectively or
yeah, I
consistently.
don't, yeah. And then, and my grandparents always are very active
Mm-hmm.
folks, always, going to sports events, concerts, traveling,
Walks and travel.
but work was still work for him. It was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna take my 2 weeks to my vacation, come back and work those other 50 weeks.
Yeah.
And
Especially
that's
generational
just,
differences as well, like that generation as well, right?
yeah. So, I mean, I don't know, but, like I said, I'm glad that there's education out there now
Yeah.
for folks to know, like, hey, you're more than just the thing you do. You're more than
Correct.
just, an athlete. You're more than just a dad. You're more than just a mom.
Correct. Yeah, and that
You're a
doesn't take
human
away
that's
from those
complex.
roles. Yeah,
Correct.
right. Because our identities are multidimensional, right? As you perfectly said, you are a jiu-jitsu practitioner and a dad and a husband and and a member of the community. Like you're each of these things, and the goal is how do I pour into each of them? It's okay if it's not equal, because nothing can be always perfectly equal. But how do I ensure I'm pouring into them so that if one of those chapters close in one way or another, because that's where we're not infinite beings. Each one of those chapters will close one way or another. How do I ensure I still feel as though I'm contributing to the world, essentially? Purpose at the end of the day.
Yeah. It's kind of wild. Like it's like, hey, let's sit down, talk some jujitsu, and look at us. Like,
Yeah.
big brains out here, or at least one big brain. I'm just here like, hey man, so there's this experience, and then like look, dude, y'all listening, y'all on the ride today. Y'all thought we were just gonna sit here and talk about heel hooks and wrist locks. Not
No.
today, not
That's the
yet.
purpose in life. Yeah, I was saying the purpose in life is wrist locks and heel hooks.
Yeah, my purpose is to not get wrist. I got wrist locked yesterday. Like it came out of nowhere. I
Yep.
was like,
They
yo,
usually
what
do.
like well, most of them I'm aware because of like almost like I see like, oh, I gotta protect myself here. But this
Yeah.
one,
Sneaky.
I got caught sleeping. And he caught my hand and he was friendly. He didn't like go for it, but
Yeah.
he did
Kept,
it and I just tapped, just
yeah.
even though it was
Kept
like
you
full
honest.
on.
Yeah.
I was like, look, I'm gonna go ahead and tap because you got me, I know you got me. Let's just move on,
Yeah.
reset. That's messed up. I'm kind of mad.
Yeah.
Um,
I think of less of you as a human being, but it's okay. We're going to move forward and rebuild our relationship from here.
but last time he wrist locked me, I didn't talk to him for 3 weeks. So like this time it's a little different because
Yeah,
to be
the
fair,
first time.
I was trying to be a bully because I had in my mind, yo, when I go with this dude, I'm gonna treat it like a fight. I'm gonna bully this dude.
Yeah.
And I was, and he wrist locked me. I was like, man,
Why
like
ignore why ignore 0.5% of the body?
yeah, I mean, and then I was ignoring it because I was like, yo, I got the upper hand right now. I'm beating this dude down. And he was like, yeah, okay. Like, there's your wrist again. So,
Oh, that's great.
all right. But, and I like, as we're, kind of talking about all that, we kept mentioning jujitsu just so people know this is a jujitsu podcast, y'all.
Yeah.
So we're here. Well, I guess technically it's not. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's supposed to be like off the mats. Let's talk about life off the mats. But for 200 plus episodes, it's been jiu-jitsu, so whatever.
Yeah. They're connected. They're always connected.
But yes, yeah. Um, for you as a professor
Mhm.
and a coach, a mentor, like what are the differences for you in teaching students versus coaching athletes on the mats?
Mm. So I've always explained it like there's, like a Venn diagram with the overlapping circles, right? I've always explained it like that. There's overlap between instructing people and coaching people, but they're not one and the same, at least in my opinion, right? So for me, a coach, once again, my personal belief, for me, a coach has more of an investment in the athlete's success while as an instructor, my goal is to present you the information and set up the information in a way that allows you to absorb it, take it, and ultimately apply it to then be tested. And your failure or success is less part of what I'm doing. If that makes sense. Like if an athlete has a terrible coach, that athlete can literally not ever be successful, potentially. Right? Obviously, we've seen athletes be amazing, even though they have not the best coaching. Right? Because once again, if I show you, let's say I only show you just terrible techniques that haven't been proven, my demonstration of those techniques are not up to par, then you applying those techniques won't be effective. As an instructor, I'm typically working with objective facts, generally speaking, right? So particularly research. That's like my biggest thing. I just wrapped up my research class. And as fun as Foundations of Educational Research sounds for people, my students did actually really enjoy the class. But like all words have a meaning when we talk about research. So you applying it effectively is very simple. It's either you apply correctly or you don't, right? And I can guide you afterwards if you don't use it correctly, but then if you don't apply it correctly again, that's still just on you, right? In jiu-jitsu, if I show you a terrible armbar, I don't know what we consider a terrible armbar. There's some McDojo videos out there that I'm sure we can like pull up. I have more at fault in that situation of you than failing at applying arm bars, because it's not an objective fact of this is the only way to apply the arm bar. So for me, there's just a high level of objectivity in teaching / instructing than there is in coaching, that we just need to pay more attention to, if you will. That'd probably be my biggest difference, is the objectivity of the information I'm sharing as an instructor compared to the objectivity of the information I'm sharing as a coach. Because if you ask me, hey, is this the best way to apply an arm bar? What is the most common answer? It depends. Sometimes.
Yeah. A lot of different approaches to the arm bar, mounted, from guard, if you're going for the triangle and hey, it's not quite working, got your arm bar there. There's so many different ways. So yeah.
Yeah. And there are some objective truths, like, because once again, at the end of the day, we are talking about biomechanics, right? Like, and that's something I really love about jiu-jitsu is, and you kind of touched on it earlier, we can test whether a technique is more or less effective, right? If I take a Kimura, let's say, and I take your arm here and I go this way compared to having it here and going that way, we can see which one feels worse for your opponent, period, right? So there are some objectivity pieces, but in regards to, is this the best Kimura or the best setup or the right quote-unquote way to do it? It's like, did you get the tap? Then yeah, and what are you able to consistently get that tap on different body types with different levels of energy? And okay, then now we can play a little bit.
Yeah, I always find it refreshing when a coach explains a technique, but they don't say, this is the best or the only way to do it. And for the way that I operate my social media, I repost a lot of different techniques. And from time to time, I've run into a video where someone says, this is the only way you should be doing this move. And it's like,
yeah,
probably not. Like, this is the only way you should do the dart. So it's like, well, I got little arms.
Yeah.
Like, I need more.
Yeah. No, you literally, you know that perfectly there. It's just natural for us to ask because of how we're educated is this the right way?
Yeah.
And it's like, how does it feel to you? I feel strong here. Okay, try another grip. How does that feel? I don't feel that strong here. You got your answer. And then you'll get exposed to external factors in the realm of opponents who will then make you go, oh, it's strong here but weak here, right? Like, for example, using the Kimuras, having thumb grip compared to a no thumb grip, right? You'll be able to see the benefits to both at different times.
Actually, I've been like doing the Kimura with like no thumb grip for so long. It's like even thinking about doing it with a thumb grip feels like, ugh. Yeah. Like, does that work? Like, let me go find my neighbor real quick. And hey, come here, guy. Let me test something on you.
Yeah.
Actually, I still need to learn that guy's name. He's super nice. I've known him for 9 years now. It's like every morning, hey, how's it going, Dante? And I'm like, it's going all right, guy.
That's also jiu-jitsu, right? What's going on, brother? What's up, bro?
What's
going on?
Everyone is guy until I know their name. Even the women. It was like, hey, guy. I was like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Like, look, man, I just Don't be offended. I mean,
Yeah.
I was that guy too. I'd go to the Sunday open mat and the coach every morning. Hey, what's your name again?
Yeah.
Like 4 weeks in a row. What's your name again? I was like, it's okay. I only see you on Sundays, buddy. So trust me.
Well,
I don't know your name either.
I remember coming up my jiu-jitsu journey. Once again, early on, watching like Eddie Bravo, Jeff Glover, all these different guys, and once I was in the 10 Planet system, would go down to headquarters, 10 Planet headquarters in Los Angeles, every once in a while, and Eddie like never knew my name, right? Once again, and I didn't know the vast majority of people's name, but I knew obviously his name. And I never forget, like I won like a match at like an in-house tournament, and after that, I think I visited like a week, a month, or what have you later. And he's like, "Oh, what's going on, Jarrell?" And I was like, oh, "I have a name. He knows my name now." So it's like it just takes something where you're like, "Oh, I remember this person's name now."
Yeah, there's one guy I rolled with him yesterday, and we've trained quite a bit, but they're all these young wrestlers who've transitioned over, so they kind of all blend into me. And he and I were talking, and I was like, "Hey, I don't know if you know, like, the old coach who used to own the gym." He's like, "Well, yeah, I used to train, back at the old location." I'm sitting there thinking, like, really? Because I was coaching at the old location. I don't like. And then I'm just looking. I was like, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Just like I'll get him next week.
Yep.
Like I'll hear someone say his name. Is like, all right, I gotta dial that into the Rolodex now because
I gotta add it.
Yeah. So for you, as a professor, as a grappler, as a person, how do you define progress specifically in jiu-jitsu? I guess I should, put that there too. How do you find progress now compared to, your earlier days on the mats coming up training?
For me as an individual or as a coach?
For you as an individual.
Cool. So I forget who said the quote of after a black belt, what comes next? It's like, oh, white belts, right? And it wasn't technically speaking a white belt, but more so you get there, you get to the top of the mountain, and then you realize like, oh, I don't know anything. How did I get here, right? So my biggest point of continued progressing is exactly that, like the intentional continuation of learning and developing as a practitioner, as a coach, and then my ability to once again, if I'm committing 6, 8, 12 hours of my week to this activity away from work, away from my family, I want to make sure that they are also benefiting in one way or another, right? Albeit me being healthier, right? Besides when we get injured or whatnot, right? Then I'm a liability, right? So that's for me is going, okay, like I previously never really played deep half, right? Over the past 3 years, I now started playing deep half more, right? I now have different passing styles that I'm working, right? Or even parts of my game that I used as a blue belt that I haven't used since. That I'm now reintroducing it at this new level of competence, if you will, right? So for me, that's how I'm ensuring I'm still progressing is, hey, am I making myself uncomfortable by exploring things that I don't feel comfortable with and or don't know and or have dabbled in, but it's not to the level of these other techniques, right? Because for me, and I don't know if this would be a controversial opinion on other athletes' development, but I apply this to myself. I don't care if you can do the same exact arm bar on both sides. I don't care about that, right? I care that you are effective and dangerous on both sides. So then I apply that to myself is if I can only dominate, pass, heel hook, and wrist lock people on one side and I have nothing on the other side, I'm staying within my comfort zone and I'm no longer progressing.
I like that because it just made me think about myself now because I joked about it yesterday in passing. We're passing and I got forced to pass to the other side and I was like, ooh, let's go ahead and go back the other way. And I mean, it worked, but I did think about that after the fact. I was like, I got to start drilling the other side. Because I think one of my coaches said to me, was like, as we're drilling, this is early on, is like, get your dominant side right first.
That's my take as well.
And then start working the other side. But more often than not, we get that dominant side right, and then we're like, this works pretty
I'm
good.
good. Yeah, I'm set. Well, and it's like, and I 100% respect and understand coaches go, no, work both sides, because once again, you want to be familiar and have some level of knowing how to move on the opposing side. Makes perfect sense, right? But I tend to be I much rather you have a 40% effective armbar on one side than a 20% effective armbar on both sides.
Yeah,
right. Like that's my kind of take. While also being intentional that, hey, because I'm choosing to coach this way, how am I ensuring that we still develop this other side, even if it's a completely different game? So it's like, hey, one of our purple belt students, hey, I really feel comfortable doing this on this side, but when I try doing it over here, I don't like it. I'm going, cool, Kimura trap system on that side, wrestle up on that side. You're a monster wrestling up over there. So do that. You don't have to play that game over there. And then he starts to seem just a tiny bit more effectiveness.
I like to always think about, there are moves that I know I can't do. Just I'm physically not capable of doing them. But I also like to think about the idea that, like, you still got to know the things.
Yeah.
You still got to be able to defend the things.
Yep,
and I think about that when it goes to, being able to execute a technique on both sides as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I might not be great on my goofy side, but if you get put there, you got to kind of at least be able to hold the position and understand how to get back to base or something.
Correct.
Don't just give up.
Yeah. Well, that's my take with like leg locks, even though it's been, granted, they really popped off in like 2014, 2015 is when they really started popping off. But we still have people that are, I'd say it's less, but people were like really much so against it. And it's like, hey, I don't care if you never want to use it. And my take is the same thing with wrestling. Like, hey, I want to know enough wrestling that people don't want to wrestle me. You know what I mean? Or don't embarrass me. Right? So even if you know you're going to pull guard immediately, cool, but let's make sure you know what your opponent's looking for so that you don't just get caught with something silly. That's day one. You know, and even if you know this, right? So same thing for the opposing sides is, even if you know you're never going to leg lock, even if you know you're never going to berimbolo, right? Even if you know you're never going to shoot singles doubles, at least understand it enough to be able to prevent it, right? Counter it or defend it.
I feel like I've kind of almost gotten too reliant on that ideal because I defend. It's like, oh, you go ahead and shoot that double if you want. I'm sprawling, dribbling your head off the mat. I don't care, man. You ain't getting me down. Or even with like, have teammates, they love to bolo, they love to invert, and I can't stand it. But I do understand, like, it's like, at least I recognize where they're going with it.
Exactly.
So it's like, and I had one teammate yesterday, I told him, I saw him, he was about to bolo on me. And I was like, don't you dare. I know what you're going for. And he went for it. But, again, knowing the mechanics, you're able to still kind of counter it, stop it, adjust, the leverage to a certain point where they can't, kind of continue through. So it's like, you may not feel comfortable going to your goofy side. You may not feel comfortable doing, octopus guard, because I'm not.
Love octopus guard. I've been putting it out of my game like over the past year and a half. It's I love it. My teammates don't like it, but
I tried to embrace it. I was just, and honestly, I think what it is for me though too is just not enough exposure. Perhaps.
Yeah.
I think if I'm thrown into it and I'm forced to do octopus guard, it's like I felt that way with Del Hiva, and now I'm like, you know what? I'm starting to really embrace Del Hiva a little bit more. It's not ideal for me, but at least now I feel comfortable in Del Hiva going to like reverse X, transitioning in all types of different things. But it's like kind of got to throw them in there, because if you give me the option of like let's work on this a little bit and I don't have to come back to it, I'm gonna learn just enough to stop you from doing it.
Yeah.
But if you've been working on it really, really hard, you now know enough where my stopping you means nothing.
Yeah, I'm gonna know the transitions. Yep.
Yeah. So there's always, like you said, there's always more to learn.
Yeah.
So
well, isn't it funny how like we get out of our comfort zone by starting jiu-jitsu. I'd say most people, you have to at some level get out of your comfort zone in some ways. And then as we keep going, we'd find a new comfort zone to nestle up in, and yet we still preach and tell everyone like, come on, get out of your comfort zone, right? But then the higher belts go, hey, force him to this side. And you're like, damn it, why did he force it? Right? So that's like a good example of like the application of these soft skills or life skills of like the humility, the confidence, the ego, right? That we all have to talk about. But then it's like, when's the last time you spent 2 months getting smashed in that position just to work it? It's like, no, I'm not doing that. Do you know how long it took me to get to the point where I'm not getting smashed? Right? So that's the, once again, to go back to the progress question, that's a big part of my trying to progress is, am I forcing myself out of those comfort zones as well?
That's something I know I'm definitely guilty of it. I'm just like when we have like just an open mat where we're just drilling. My one teammate, she and I we will drill the stuff we grew up on.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, let's go for that omoplata sweep. Let's go for, let's do some lasso. Yeah. Let's do some spider guard. And, it's just that comfort.
Fun. Yeah, it's just fun though. Like it's I don't know if you played chess at all or how familiar you are with chess, but like it's like I have an opening that I'm using, you have an opening you're using. Generally speaking, particularly as we get better and better with time, we know the openings, right? And the theory behind the openings. But it's still fun to go, even though you know what I'm going to do, can I still catch you? Can I still tweak it in a way that I almost catch you, right? Or I get past that knee, or I get past that sleeve, or I get you into a turtle position. Like there's 100% fun in that of if you watch your roll and you're going, wow, we end up in the same position like 4 or 6 times. I do thoroughly love that to go. Like my favorite submission, seemingly off topic, my favorite submission is the twister, right? Which I guess may speak a lot to me. That's like what I'm known for is like, yeah, he's gonna try to twist you. The reason why I like it so much, even though it's not the highest percentage, is because you don't just magically get caught in a twister. It's not like
that's
slipped, right? It's like, oh no, I went inch by inch and you couldn't stop me along the way. And the last thing you saw was a hand coming over. Like that fills my evil side with joy.
No. Hey man, I mean, but that's the thing though. When you, and it's wild because it's like that's one of the harder submissions, like even like get. So like, yeah, that's one of my favorite submissions. Is like, all right, yeah, that does speak volumes. like most people are like, oh yeah, I love me a good heel hook. I love me a good arm bar.
Rear naked choke is the king of submissions. It's like, yes, all that is true.
Yeah.
Have you ever gone step by step and someone knows everything you're doing and they still can't stop it?
I mean, yeah, that speaks, just on how, just how hard you worked on it, how proficient you are with it, where it's like, look, it's coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, there's nothing you can do to stop me either. So
yeah, I think that's so cool and powerful.
It's like, just get comfortable.
Yeah.
All right. Before we wrap up here, I would like to do a quick rapid fire.
Ooh, let's do it.
Let's see here. But you just told me what your favorite submission is. So let me make sure that's not on this list because it's been switching up and I actually don't see it on here, which is wild that you actually told me your favorite submission. I go to the rapid fire and that's actually not one of the questions this time, which is I guess, the interwebs.
Find the holes. Find the holes.
that's kind of the theme of this podcast. You're like, look, man, we got this.
Yeah.
All right. So first question. What is the most misunderstood position in jiu-jitsu?
Mount and nogi and standard daily hiva and nogi. Those would be my two for nogi in particular. And that's where I do most of my training. So that'd be my answer.
One concept every white belt should stop ignoring.
Stop ignoring. Stop ignoring your breathing.
Yeah. I remember those days.
Like, you're supposed to breathe like they're just on the offensive and defensive side. And then it's like, you good, buddy?
I got yelled at during the competition to breathe. I was like, Dante, breathe. I was like, oh shit, I wasn't breathing. You're right. Yep. Like I wasn't even being choked.
That's exactly.
Like I'm pretty sure we're still on our feet.
Yeah.
All right. No gi versus gi debates. Useful or distracting?
Useless. Yeah, absolutely useless.
It's all
It's like
grappling.
exactly like if you train in the gi and transition to no gi, even if it's just for a day, a week, what have you, there's certain components that are emphasized more in the gi that if you apply it to no gi, you'll be a little bit more effective. For example, grip fighting, right? And vice versa. In no gi, there are some aspects that are emphasized more, um, like control, right? Because once again, if you're somewhat sweaty or even loose or something's not tight, you're gone, right? Um, so there's benefits to both. Once again, the vast majority of people are not competitors, so it doesn't really matter for the vast majority of people. So going into that debate, you're just doing it for the sake of venting, which is totally cool. Whatever floats your boat.
I think people just like to argue sometimes, or
Yeah,
like pick a side. Hey,
yeah,
I have an iPhone. I have an Android. It's like,
yeah.
okay,
Cool.
does it text? Does it make calls?
Yeah,
All right.
exactly. So
I don't care about messing up your chat.
yeah. I'm an Android guy, so yeah, I don't care.
And they're like, oh, who's got the Android? I'm like,
Yeah, that's me.
like, I got it. Say something. Best lesson jiu-jitsu taught you outside of the gym.
Inch by inch. So it was Jean Jacques who always preaches that inch by inch, always forward, never backwards. Um, you're still progressing, right? So inch by inch, appreciate the journey, whatever it is, right? Just move forward and be cognizant and be present, right? So inch by inch, moving forward and being present.
All right. And then the last one habit that separates long-term practitioners from quitters.
Technically, just consistency, and then non-technically would be that resilience piece, right? The willingness to move forward despite obstacles, challenges, and setbacks. Right? So that would be from the non-technical side, and then the other side, which applies to it, is that consistency. We say like just keep showing up, just keep showing up. But yes, just keep showing up, and let's be intentional while we're there. I'd say that kind of goes back to the other question of when I'm at jiu-jitsu, I'm at jiu-jitsu. When I'm at home with my son, I'm there with my son. When I'm spending time with my wife, I'm there with my wife. Right? So being intentional and being consistent over time, because you'll be able to look back and go, wow, I didn't realize when I got good, or I didn't realize when I created such a beautiful life.
Awesome. And that's actually just a helpful reminder to me. So I've been saying that recently. When I'm training, I need to be more in the moment. I need to be more intentional with my training versus like I go there, I'm training, I'm having a good time, I'm getting away from the outside world, and I'm just there. But yeah, now like the last couple of weeks has been in my mind. It's like the training has to have purpose. It can't just be,
Yes.
oh, we're working on Darce. And like, I don't really like Darce. I got short arms. Well,
Yeah, let me just
like,
half-ass go through it.
yeah. And like
Yep.
now I'm like actually like, well, how can I actually make this work? How can I attack this while training? We went over a Darce yesterday from north south.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, you can also hit it from side control, but he didn't show us. He
Yeah.
didn't show us
Play into that scene.
And then my training partner and I were talking about it. I was like, how would you do that? And I was like, actually, I think I know because this is how I escape side control a lot. By ducking my arm under, and then you're going to kind of walk right into it, especially if they don't know it's there. And then we did, I was like, oh,
yeah,
you've got ways into the darts now. So now that intention there is like, oh, now I'm paying attention. Now I care. Now it's not just about being heavy and pressure passing anymore. Now I got a darce.
Yeah. Well, have you heard of the 10,000 hour rule, right, that people oftentimes quote? Right. So it's actually often misquoted because it's not just 10,000 hours of practice, right? It's 10 hours of intentional, purposeful practice, right? Yeah. And without getting into semantics, they were looking at closed skill games. So closed skill game would be like chess, for an example, while sport is an open skill game in the sense of things are different every single time we play. Right? So yeah, it's not just a matter of, hey, 10,000 hours of just showing up and you'll automatically quote unquote be a master. It's like, no, it's 10,000 hours of intentionality. Like give it that focus, explore it, dive into that seed that your coach planted and go, I get
it. Awesome. So I feel like I learned a lot here today. I gained a lot here. hope the listeners did, because I mean, if y'all anything like me, y'all gain a lot here. So, Jarrell, thank you so much for doing this, man. I would love to sit down and talk with you again, like
Just in
just
general, yeah.
yeah, just opening this door. It's like, oh my God, like, because we're going into spaces where it was like we were getting away from jiu-jitsu and just getting into life. And I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, I want to talk again. This is
No, I appreciate
awesome.
that. Yeah.
So
No,
thank
once
you
again, I
so
appreciate
much.
you making the time. And yeah, no, I loved how everywhere our conversation went. So I'll definitely check in and make sure everything's good with you, and also just pick each other brain on things. So no, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Before we get out of here, do you have any shout outs or mentions you'd like to leave our listeners with today?
Even though I may change my name on Instagram next year, Garcia Grip on Life on Instagram. You can also just DM me if you want information on, albeit for yourself or other people who need help, like transitioning after the sport. If you know that they're struggling, I 100% want to make sure I'm helping athletes. If you're ever in Rhode Island, Jarrell Garcia, Rhode Island. If you're ever in Pennsylvania, Finishers MMA, Planet Bethlehem. But I appreciate you.
Actually, I'm gonna text my friend once we're done, like, hey, found you somewhere to go in Rhode Island. Although I feel like they probably could have done the research themselves. Like you said, it's a small place, but
Yeah.
still. All right. And as always, to you guys, the listeners, thank you. If you all have any questions, concerns, criticisms, or anything, please feel free to reach out. You can find me at BJJB. Oh my God, I can't even say my name right now. BJJ.wiki on Instagram, or Off the Mats Podcast as well on Instagram. Yeah, either one, shoot a message. You want to be a guest, reach out. If you have a ideal for discussion, maybe you don't want to be on that discussion, but you think you want to hear it discussed, let me know. There's always conversation to be had with tons of folks. Like, I mean, hell, Jarrell and I just sat here, talk about jiu-jitsu, life, coaching, Joe Paterno,
parenting.
like, we went all over the place. So I mean, if you got an ideal, shoot it this way. But BJJ Wiki Off the Mat's always here. I want to give a big shout out to my crew over at Nerve Age Radio: Bobby, Chris, Joe, Marilyn, Phil, Ricky, Tiki, Farrell, Chucky O, and the many others that are there. Like I said, there's too many names. And I think I had the mug down here with all the names, and I started trying to read all the names. I was like, we're not doing this.
Yeah, credits.
Yeah, it's like, all right, yeah, like y'all know who y'all are. If it weren't for Nerd Rage Radio, I wouldn't be doing a podcast. So thank you to those guys. I do appreciate them, and I miss them. I haven't been on in a while, so I don't know that I've been on in 2025. Oh man, this is the first time I missed a year with them. I got to get back over there and say something inappropriate so I get edited. That's my role. Every time I go and I say something like, we can't have that on there. I was like, come on, dude. I didn't even mean it with intent. It was like, I just said it because I didn't think. They're like,
that's my type of company. Worse. That's hilarious.
I also want to shout out my other podcast. So you like horror? I might change the name because like I have a hard time saying horror, and everybody thinks I'm saying horrors. So,
yeah,
but if you're into scary movies, go check it out. We are working on a theme for 2026 where we're going to be talking about scary TV shows and series. We're going to probably start off with Haunting of Hill House, which was on Netflix. I think we're going to move into Midnight Mass, also on Netflix, and also by Mike Flanagan, just like Haunting of Hill House. I think HBO just had Welcome to Derry, so we'll probably talk about that because there's so much to unpack. So we're gonna get into the weeds in 2026 with a lot of these different TV series, and we're gonna still be doing movies as well. So if you're into scary content, go check it out. You can find that account on Instagram. So you like horror, all the words separated by underscores, and wherever you listen to this podcast, that podcast is there as well. So go check it out. And yeah, I like scary stuff myself, so y'all should know that. And then last but not least, I would like to thank our guest here today, Dr. Jarrell Garcia. Thank you so much for making the time. Thank you for sharing your insight and just really opening, our eyes to a lot of different just approaches and thoughts within the ideal of learning, coaching, and understanding jiu-jitsu and just life, really. So thank you for that.
of course, I appreciate it once again, and I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Yes, sir. And again, to you guys, the listeners, thank you. Y'all know what it is. You guys keep listening, and we're going to definitely keep making these shows. Thank you, everybody, and goodbye.
Deeper with it. Now let me sing a song.